What's up guys, and welcome back to the Kamui dimension. Today I want to talk about Code. I've heard a lot of people complain about Code lately and say he's such a horribly awful character, and so I wanted to weigh in on this topic. This man was getting hyped up left and right even when his limiters were on, as being this big strong bad guy and the next strongest in Kara after Jigen, only to get his butt whipped by Boruto and Kawaki, and he was getting even more hyped for his limiters getting taken off, only for Damon to whoop his butt right after that, and then he got rejected by Eida. So basically this man is just a walking L right now. But is he a bad character? As of right now, I'm gonna say no. He's not necessarily a bad character, he's just very misunderstood by a lot of people. So let's start with why people are so upset about Code. As I just mentioned, Code was constantly being built up to be this big strong guy who was going to be the big villain who wants to grow a chakra fruit and kill Naruto, Sasuke, Amado, Shikamaru, Boruto, and Kawaki, and so on. But he just keeps getting stomped on over and over again, which has made a lot of people mad. The problem is, while Code was getting a lot of hype, Kishimoto was also foreshadowing over and over again that Code wasn't going to be that dude right now, with Eida putting him in his place several times, saying Code is useless, how if Kawaki had died, she'd have sent Damon over to dispose of him, and how even after his limiters came off, she and Damon had no problems with disposing of Code if he remained a nuisance. It was already hinted at that Code wasn't going to be the biggest threat, even after his limiters came off, even though he's supposed to be stronger than Jigen now and said that he felt like he couldn't lose to anyone. In fact, from the moment Amado mentioned there were several cyborgs stronger than Jigen, and when Bug was incredibly weary and scared about Code, awakening Eida and especially Damon, the seeds had already been planted for Code not to be the strongest cyborg alive. So why is all this foreshadowing all so important?
Why, Naruto?
だってばよ!
You're telling me that was why?
Because Code is being developed in real time. He's not getting all of his development just from a flashback, where he's the big bad dude now, and we learn about his weak and sad former self. Instead, he's getting his development in real time too, in parallel with Kawaki's development. Code's whole character revolves around his dynamic with Kawaki, where they always parallel each other, either being exactly the same or polar opposites. They were both adopted by Jigen. They both have and depend on their karma seals. They both are always being used by others. They both worship one of their foster fathers. Code loves the Otsutsuki, while Kawaki hates the Otsutsuki. Code hates Naruto, while Kawaki loves Naruto. They both seek Otsutsuki powers, but are going about gaining that power in slightly different ways. Code pushes Kawaki's buttons to desire more power, while Kawaki pushes Code's buttons to desire more power. Code loves Eida, who doesn't care about Code, while Eida loves Kawaki, who probably doesn't care about Eida. Code loves the regular Karma Seal and wanted to be Ishiki's vessel, but hates the dud white Karma Seal, while Kawaki hated the regular Karma Seal because he didn't want to be Ishiki's vessel, but he loves the power he can get from it, so he probably would have loved the white Karma Seal. And the list goes on and on. Code even seems to understand this concept himself, as he tells Kawaki in chapter 67 that acquiring power won't change anything. You'll still never be free for your entire life. Someone will always be leading around by the nose. That's the fate you bear. I know it well. Code basically admits that he's the same as Kawaki. They both can acquire as much power as they want, but neither of them will ever be free because someone will always be leading them around and using them. And as I've said several times in the past, I think both Eida and Amado have been trying to use both Code and Kawaki. So with all these parallels in mind, let's think about what Code's role in this story probably is, based on everything we've seen. I think Code's role as a villain is pretty obvious. He was and still is a catalyst to push Kawaki's power progression and character development. This was made obvious by Kawaki's worries about Code's power and Amado's temptation for Kawaki to regain the Karma Seal to defeat Code. who would potentially be able to kill Naruto, which Kawaki wanted to avoid at all costs. Eventually, Kawaki wished for the Karma Seal back because of Code and Borushiki, and so Code did play a role in pushing Kawaki's development, and Code literally discusses this exact point with Eida. So Code did what he was supposed to do as a villain. Furthermore, Amado has now removed Code's limiters, which most likely will make Code stronger than the Kawaki we saw fight Borushiki in Chapter 66 and fight Code in Chapter 67 because, plot, narratively, that's just what's gonna happen. And Code also gives us this impression when he's talking about how he needs to get his limiters taken off after he lost to Kawaki. This means Kawaki is gonna have to get stronger if he intends to defeat Code himself in order to protect Naruto. Now, I've been saying forever now, ever since the third video on this channel, that this is exactly what Amado's master plan with Code is all about. It's just a tool to get Kawaki to desire more power from Karma, so he can become just like Ashiki in terms of powers and abilities. And so he set things up so that limited Code would be enough to get Kawaki to wish for Karma back, and then unlimited Code would force Kawaki to master 100% of Ashiki's powers and abilities, likely by getting 100% of the Karma Seal extracted, and then drawing out all of that power. But the converse is also true. Code losing to Kawaki has now given Code the desire to become stronger himself, and the way he intended to do so originally was to get its limiters off to restore his original strength, as planned by Amado. But in order to make the story more interesting, Code got his ass whooped by Damon even after getting his limiters removed, so now he desires even more power, so he won't lose to Damon, Boruto, Kawaki, or anybody else. Which is why, or at least probably why, he's building up an army using the 10 Tails creatures he created in Chapter 72. And this is actually perfect, because if Code was content with his power after removing his limiters, Kawaki would most likely beat Code once he masters more of Ishiki's power. But with Code desiring to gain even more power now, it'll make the battle closer and more interesting. Perhaps Code can surpass Ashiki, forcing Kawaki to have to do the same thing. Now, one thing I will mention before moving on is that the Karma normally extracts his DNA automatically, and Code says that both Boruto and Kawaki are full at Suzuki now. So it's possible that Kawaki already hit 100% extraction, but that might just be a translation error or something, because that just feels way too fast and convenient for Kawaki to have already hit that mark without even doing anything. So I would prefer it if he needs to be forced to draw further upon the Karma Seal when he's in a dire situation, kinda like how the Uchiha get their Tomoe when they're in dire situations and need to get stronger in that moment. Same for Kawaki with his Karma progression in triangles in Ishiki's eye. Then again, it seems to be a very common theme in Boruto that these guys just gain powers randomly without any training for them, so I guess I can't be too surprised if that ends up being the case here. Anyway, now that I've laid some groundwork for some of the ways Code and Kawaki parallel each other, what Code has done for Kawaki so far, and what Kawaki has done for Code so far, I want to take things a step further and talk about what Code's role might be moving forward here. Since Code already cut ties with Eida and had his fight with Damon but wasn't killed off, just as I predicted and hoped, this tells me that Code hasn't had his big moment yet as a villain, and is going to do something impactful in the future. Otherwise, Kishimoto probably would have just gotten rid of him when he fought Damon and would have had Damon kill him. It's not what happened though, so what's something meaningful that Code could do for the story? Well, let's take another look at the end of Chapter 71 and see what exactly Code said. He said,
He's taken everything from me, every single time. He always takes what's important to me.
Then he says he's gonna kill Kawaki and wreck everything that's important to him, meaning Naruto, his friends, and the village. As I mentioned before, Code and Kawaki heavily parallel one another. Kawaki took everything that's important to Code, so now Code is gonna take everything that's important to Kawaki. Now, obviously, Code's not gonna succeed in taking every single thing Kawaki cares about, just as Kawaki didn't literally take every single thing Code cares about. But Kawaki took away the most important things to Code, those being Jigen's favorite, getting the real Karma Seal from Ishiki to be Ishiki's perfect vessel, rather than just some dud Karma Seal. He took away Code's god that he worshipped when he landed the killing blow on Ishiki, and he even took the attention of the girl that Code loved, which was Eida. To get back at Kawaki and keep the parallel going, I think it's possible that Code either directly or indirectly leads to the rift between Kawaki and Naruto in the Elite Village. We know that Code isn't going to kill Naruto based on Kawaki's words in the flash forward scene, but I think he could somehow lead to some stuff going down between Naruto and Kawaki, leading to him taking Naruto, who means everything to Kawaki, away from Kawaki. And maybe he does some major damage to the Elite Village as well or something. You know, maybe Code beats up Kawaki and drives Kawaki mad in his pursuit of Otsutsuki power, similar to how losing to Gaara, Itachi, and the Sound 4 drove Sasuke mad in his pursuit of power via Orochimaru to defeat Itachi. It would be a very similar deal for Kawaki, who definitely parallels Sasuke in many ways. Exactly how it all goes down is difficult to say for sure right now, but I think that could be a very cool concept. Kawaki ultimately took Ishiki away from Code by landing the killing blow. He took Eida away from Code and so on, although Kawaki didn't really do anything with Eida. She just only cares about Kawaki, and in Code's eyes, Kawaki took her away from him. But you get the point. Now Code will lead to Naruto being taken away from Kawaki, at least figuratively, and this would generate a lot of heat for Code as a villain, for making Kawaki become less of a good guy, and for leading to Naruto ending up wherever the hell Kawaki sent him away to. And it would also be part of a good bang of an ending for part 1 of Boruto. And it's not just limited to Kawaki's development either. Momoshiki keeps going on and on about how Boruto is going to lose everything, and despair very soon, and he brought this up again for the millionth time in chapter 72. So I think it would be good if Code can somehow play a role in Boruto losing everything as well. However, I want to save that topic for my next video because I want the theme of that video to be about the parallels between Boruto and Kawaki and how they are both going to lose everything. So stay tuned for that because I think that's a very interesting topic of discussion as well. But I want to hear what you guys think. After watching this video, do you feel a little bit better about Code's potential as a character? Or do you still think he's a complete letdown, trash, failure, piece of crap? And what do you think about this idea about Code and Kawaki paralleling each other? And so Code takes everything away from Kawaki for taking everything away from Code. Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!